Hello, everyone. In this video, I will explain in COFASO 7 how you can design a motor circuit and how you can generate the automatically generated manufacturing plans. And also, in the meantime, I will also explain some hotkeys, some shortcuts, how you can use them, etc., etc. So in the first place, I will a little bit explain the COFASO interface. So classically, we have page, edit, graphic, zoom, macro, show, extras, project, numbering, etc., etc. I will also come back to these points during the video. So in the first place, I want to explain all the projects that you design in COFASO will be listed here on this left side in the project tree. So for example, if I click one time on this COFASO and one click for this new white icon, then the COFASO will open a new project window. So I can immediately type the name of my project here. For example, in this case, let's say example COFASO. And also you can give some additional information like plant designation, drawing number, customer name, etc., etc. And all this information later on will be shown on your cover page. Here, the project structure is important because project structure tells about your project, how complex it is. So for example, if I say one level, you will see the difference here. I will also show the two levels. So first I just select one level. And here, of course, you can change your operation voltage, control voltage, signal voltage, etc. with your mouse wheel, or you can basically right mouse button, you can choose. It is same logic here also works. So let's say okay for now. And here is my project, example COFASO. And again, this white icon one more time, LOD1, which means local designation. So I can also change it. I will do it soon now, later. So now, for example, instead of LOD, so one more click here, you can say MCC1, for example. Sorry. And so what is I was going to explain the one level, two levels logic, this project structure. So for example, if I again click this example COFASO project, and again this white icon, then this is my second panel. So this MCC1 is my first panel. This is, let's say, MCC2, etc., etc. So if I click this on this MCC1, and again this white icon, one more click, one more click, one more click, then all these pages are going to be my designing pages. So what was the two levels? So again, on this COFASO, and again, this white icon. And this time, let's say this is example COFASO 2. And this time, two levels. So it means my project is a complex project. It would be a cement factory, for example. So because there are units in a cement factory, different units and different panels under these units, and these units and also the panels, the units are somehow connected. So let's say, okay, now, so you will see the difference now, example COFASO 2, and again, this white icon, and this is my first unit in this case. And again, this white icon, and now this is my first panel, and now this is my first project page. So again, on this example COFASO 2, one more click, this means my second unit. And this is the first panel of second unit. The logic is like this. So let's stay on this example COFASO and the first page, I'm on it. And now I want to go to the symbol library. So just one click on this tab, symbols tab. So now the system library you see on the screen. So right mouse button, IEC, I'm gonna use today, IEC symbol library. So I can select one by one only with my mouse wheel between, I can go between the symbols like this. This is an option, or we have a search area here. So for example, if I stay in the search area and type here motor, then the system will show me only the symbols which has a motor in the description, in the symbol description, let's say. So if I stay in the search area with my mouse, with my cursor, and scroll my mouse wheel like this, then the system will show me only the motor symbols in this case. So here, instead of motor, I will say terminal, for example. So again, scroll my mouse wheel, then the system will show me only the terminal symbols. So we have some short codes here, you see on this left side. For example, M05 is my three-phase induction motor. If I come here on this pink area, in the pink rectangular, you can again scroll the mouse wheel, then you can change the orientation, the angle of the motor. But this is not what I would like to choose. M0, no, 5. Yeah. So the same logic, if you want to change the angle of the symbol and in the designing area, so you hold the Alt key from the keyboard and you scroll the mouse wheel again, then you can change the angle, the rotation. So let's stay like this. And approximately here, I place my symbol, my motor, and the connection designations and the name of the symbol, the designation of the symbol, of course, are given automatically. So you say, okay, now I want to use the terminals. X01 is my terminal. So approximately here I place 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fourth terminal here is, in this case, is going to be the PE terminal. So double click, terminal type, change to PE. So you say, okay, then after you say, okay, you will see immediately the change and the color of the line and the type of the line changed. Let's number our terminals. Numbering from the menu, terminals, say number, then it's going to be 1, 2, 3 PE. So let's use a cable now. So here, insert, we have an insert cable icon. So one click, approximately like this, I place my cable. And here I will define my own cable manually. This is what I want to show you today. So this 3 dot, we click first, then the system opens the part library. So basically in my database, these are my parts, that real parts from real component manufacturers, let's say. So here in my database, so I would like to say electrical, and I want to find the cables here. So let's choose one of them just to define, just to show you how you can define your own cable. So you can change the brand, of course, but all this information will come from the part libraries, like say Excel sheets. These are our part libraries normally, but this is like how you define your cable manually. But the most important thing, when you define a cable, it's here, the cable section. So number of conductors, you can say, for example, just with your mouse wheel, you say, I have 20 conductors in my cable. So only with your mouse wheel, you can change the number of conductors. So all these colors you see here, these are standard colors. So you don't have to worry about which color is going to be the next one. So let's say I have 10 conductors in my cable. You can also change the conductor cross section. Here, instead of numbered conductors, I can have color codes DIN, for example. So then I will have this kind of conductor names. So you see here, I have a PE conductor. Let's say I don't have a PE conductor, then the system immediately deletes the PE, the yellow-green conductor here. So let's say I have a neutral conductor. Right mouse button you can choose, or with your mouse wheel, basically you can change like this. So let's say I have a PE, yellow-green. Let's say okay. So you see the part number here. Okay. And now it's white, brown, green, green, yellow. So when you move your cable, the names will follow, of course. So approximately here, let's stay. Now I will use a motor protection relay, which is gonna be Q03. So approximately here, I place my symbol and let's say okay. So when you move your symbol, you see the connections follow. So in COFASO, all the connections are real connections. So I will use now the T points. So one for here, one for here, here, and one for the jumper. I will basically copy right mouse button, copy right mouse button, past. So 1, 2, 3. So you see now I copied this one, but COFASO numbers all the elements automatically, all the devices, all the symbols automatically. So Q2, Q3, Q4, X2, X3, X4, the same for the motors, M2, M3, M4, etc. Let me move it a little bit like this. So now I will use potential arrow macros. So basically you click this macro tab one time. So there is also another, this one you can use, this shown, or you can also use this display. So window macro, potential arrows, here I place one, and here please be attended. So after I place my potential arrows, the name of the arrows will jump automatically to the right side. So you don't have to go inside one by one and change the orientation of the name of the arrow. So COFASO will automatically will change the place of the name of the potential arrows. So now, of course, one potential arrow here for the jumper. Let's say PE here. Okay, and one more for this side. This 3 dot, and once you type, it's saved at the background, so you can choose from now on PE. Okay, and now this, I will go immediately to the second page, and the system asks, do you want to save it? Yeah, I say yes. So first of all, let me use the arrows, so to, in order to show you how our cross-referencing works. So I go again to the first page. So you see here the cross-reference for the first page, the 9th column. I go to the, I'm already in the first page, so 9th column here. So from here to the second page, first column, you see the cross-referencing. So now I will again, let's say I will go to the 3rd page. I want to use contactor. I want to use a contactor. So again, the symbol library, this time here, K01 is my contactor. I approximately here I place it. In COFASO, there's a contactor selection button. So here you see. So here, the parts you see are only the parts that you can assign to a contactor, so which has a relay coil in it. So not the other parts here you cannot see, just the parts that you can assign for a contactor. So in my database, just I have at the moment just these parts. So I only choose one of them just as an example. So okay, and immediately you see the part number here. After you say okay, you're gonna see the contact references of this contactor. So which I didn't use them at all at the moment. So I again go to my project, the first page. Yes, I want to save it. So for example, approximately here, let's say in this place, I want to use my the power circuit breakers, so the contacts of this contactor. So the code, the short code is going to be S08. So I place 1 here. So there's a question mark here, which means you need to say that this contact is belonging to K1 contactor. Okay. And again, okay. The second one, 3, 4, automatic numbering, 5, 6, automatic numbering. Now I want to go to my contactor page, third page. So you see now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they're used in the first page, fourth column. So when you go to your first page, fourth column, you're gonna see your power contacts. Let's use also the contacts, the auxiliary contacts of the motor protection relay. So what I'm gonna do is again going to the symbol library. Let's say this time S01 is gonna be my normally open contact. So approximately here I place it. Again, the question mark, you say this is belonging to Q2 motor protection relay, let's say. So okay, and let's also use normally closed contact, which is going to be O01. So I place approximately here, again the question mark, 3 dot, you say Q2, this is belonging to Q2. Okay, again, so immediately you see the cross-reference under the symbol name. You go to your project, the first page. So now you can see the Q2 and the auxiliary contacts are here. What I can do here is very easily extras parameters. And now you can change display cross-reference under symbol. You see here, instead of horizontal, I say vertical. And now immediately you can change the orientation, the angle of the cross-reference. So of course with your mouse wheel also, you can do as well. Let's say okay, and I'm the third page. Now I would like to create, I just have like 3 pages of, or three designing pages, let's say. Now you go to show from the menu, pages in 3, and say create, generate all the manufacturing plans. Just say okay. Now you immediately have your cover page. You see the project name here, the logo, the name of the company, some other details as well. And all this, of course, you can customize for your own company, etc., etc. And you can find videos to change, how to change the cover page, how to edit the cover page in our YouTube channel. So table of contents. So all the page names, like this is an index list. So all the pages, you see the name of the pages one by one. So here there are like some blanks. So I go to my third page, for example, right mouse button, properties. I say here I have my motor. So I say, okay, and table of contents again. So immediately you see the change. So in COFASO, every change will be updated. I mean, when you make a change in your project, in the designing side, they will be updated immediately in other pages. And now I will go to my terminal plan. So as you remember, I had 4 terminal strips, X1, X2, X3, X4 here. So the logic of the terminal plan, of course, you see the page path reference and where it goes to in the panel. and which terminal strip, which terminal number, and in the field where it goes to, and in this case M1 connection U, and with which cable and which conductor you can see. So I again go to my design. I have like 4 terminal strips here. So I select all of it, and some of, you can double click here, for example. Let's say all these terminals are now X10 instead of 4 different terminal strips. Now all of them are X10. Enter, and then OK. So now all of them X10. So I go to numbering, terminals. I just say number my terminals. Then it's gonna be X10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes like this. So I again go to my terminal plan. So just before, as you remember, I had 4 terminal strips in my terminal plan. Now, because I've changed it, now I only have 1 terminal strip, which is X10. So all these 16 terminals are together. So here are the jumpers. For example, here the function text is terminal. You see, I again go to my design. Let's say these 8 terminals, double click, and the function text, let's say example COFASO. Okay, and enter. Okay, so I again go to my terminal plan. So you see immediately, you see the change here. Just before it was terminal only. So here now I go to cable plan. In cable plan, as you remember, we have selected 10 conductors for our cable. You see the 10 conductors here. But the system used only the first 3 in the first place. But the 4th conductor here in the cable, you see that is the last conductor, not the 4th one. So the last conductor. So the system knows what to do. So I go to terminal connection plan. Here you see, just before I've made all the terminals together in the X10 terminal strip. So you see the terminal strip here, basically. You see where it goes to in the panel, in the cabinet, and also in the field where it goes to, which connection designation, and with which cable, which conductor, etc. So here, this is also the same. Here, this contains the same logic, of course, but this is more like a clear picture, which is very useful, very efficient, especially for the machine manufacturers. So because they install the system in the field, so this is very, very useful, especially for the installation. So device list, my next manufacturing report, is devices. So every device, every element, every symbol in your project will be listed here one by one with page path reference, the name of the symbol, the description of the symbol. If there are some contacts, you're gonna see it here. Also, you're gonna see the cross references. And the second device list, you see, for example, here in this case, your contactor and how many contacts you used already. And also if you have chosen a real, so in this case we did already, so we have a real part also here. So you see the part code, the part number also. So manufacturer list in COFASO, manufacturer list gives you a different list, gives you a list for each manufacturer. For example, I have a list for Labkabel. So I have a list for Siemens here. And this is for just Siemens. And this is for just Labkabel here. So if I choose a part, real part from another manufacturer, another component manufacturer, the system in this case was going to give me another list for this component manufacturer. So bill of materials, you see, even if you do not select a real part for a symbol for a device, you still are gonna you're gonna see all the symbols, all the device, all the elements one by one here, you see, and with the item designation, of course, and the part number. I will give some other examples later on as well. So wiring list, I will go back here. So part list, as you remember in the bill of materials, you see one by one every material, every device, every symbol, even if you don't select any real part. So in the part list, you only see the parts that you selected already and how many of them you have. For example, I have 4 cables, I have 1 contactor component here. So you see the part number, the supplier, etc., etc. So purchase order list gives you a list with the part number, again, the supplier, also the unit price, total price, and you also see the total part cost here. So wiring list, I told you I was gonna go back here. So you see you see no numbers here. So I go to my design and say numbering first and wires, and I don't change anything. I just say number. So here, after I say number, the system numbers automatically the wires inside the panel. So 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. But generally we don't do it like this here. So that's why I again go to numbering wires. I say here potential arrows, you see, instead of no action, I say set symbol number to connected wire. Then again number. Then now I have L1, L2, L3 here. So here is a PE, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So this is sequential numbering. This can be used, of course, but numbering is a huge topic actually. So you go to, again, wires for the numbering. And for example, here, not the numbering mode, the counting mode, instead of sequential, I say target specific, for example. This is also very common. So I say number, and now you see here, I have this kind of numbers. So this makes easier, especially the maintenance processes. So basically you can see where it comes from and where it goes to inside the panel on the label. This is very, 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 very useful, especially for the maintenance work, as I told you. So let's give another example for the numbering wires again. Here, let's do sequential, for example. Here we have format. So A for counter, B for page, C for path. So instead of the first, I say, give me the page number. Again, number. Then you have these kind of numbers, 3/4, and here, let me check. I don't have any other cables, wires. So let's do one here, for example, and here another one. So now let's number again all my number wires. So now I go to the 5th page, and you see now this is 5/16. So but it started from the scratch, the numbering in the 3rd page. For example, if I want to number the counting mode like page specific, then the system will give you this kind of numbers. So 3/, again, this is the same, but when I go to my 5th page, now I will have 5/1 this time, not 16. Again, numbering wires, and let's just delete this slash and put a minus, for example, number. And now I have this 5 minus the number. So I don't have to put anything also. So let's say, let's delete this minus and again number. So now you have this kind of numbers. And I again now go to my wiring list. So all my numbers are here, wire numbers. What I can do is to export these wire numbers to an Excel sheet. Then later on, I can give this Excel sheet to my printing machine, the printer label for the labeling. And let's say show. So here, export wiring list as Excel. So let's make it here. So example COFASO wires. Let's save it here. And now I go to example COFASO wires. Just enter. And now you see the numbers are here, so you can give this Excel sheet to the printing machine for the labels. Now, yeah, now this is the same, by the way, for the terminals, for the devices as well. So you can also here the print, you can export the wires, the terminal numbers to an Excel sheet as well, so that you can give this Excel sheet for the printer again. So what I would like to show you is now I will place some macros from some manufacturers so that I can later on see those in my bill of materials. So again, go to macros, and here macro, for example, let's give an example from here now. So for example, this one. So I place my macro. So this is supposed to be a driver device. So all this information, this component is coming from ABB. So if you double click on this, let me find another one. So let me see. Yeah, okay, the information is here. So let me delete this one. So this is a ACS 850 device. So double click, so you see the part number here, which means later on when you go to your bill of materials, you're gonna see your device, the part number here.